Hello and welcome to the Souls and Simulation podcast. We are your hosts, Devin and Angie. And this podcast provides an alternate view on life after death, processing everything that's wrong and possible solutions on how to get it right in the afterlife. All right, so hello, and today we have a special guest with us, and his name is John from Soultrapstar. He is a lucid dreamer, a researcher, and a truth seeker. And today's topic will be on the dream state, entity encounters, and some counterattacks. So, hi, John, how are you doing?
I'm all good. Thanks. How about you?
Good, good.
Hello, everybody, and hi, John. Welcome to our channel. Thank you so much for being on with us.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. My pleasure.
Yeah. So, yeah, before we get started into like the talking about uh, dreams and entities and everything, I think our audience would really appreciate to get to know a little bit more about who you are and how you came to believe in soul trap theory.
Yeah, sure. I'm just a normal guy from the Netherlands. My upbringing was pretty normal. I was an atheist always, so there was no belief in God or anything like that. But after a while living in this world, I started to really, doubt this reality. I think I was 12 years old when I started getting into conspiracy stuff like Illuminati, the 2001 event. Well, I don't think I can say it, but that event as well. And so I started researching a lot since I was a teenager. And you just go along with life, of course, trying to make the best of it. But after a while, I think it was 2016, 2017, when actually was Trump was running for president. And I thought it was really, really strange. Like, this guy, he seems like an absolute like joker. And I knew all these other politicians weren't up to any good, but they still at least acted like they were, decent human beings. And then you got this guy coming up, and it just seemed so strange to me. And it was my first time traveling as well, so I was experiencing a lot of new stuff, and I met some people who introduced me to simulation theory, and I started getting into UFOs as well. So I already started to kind of research the freaky stuff or something. And I found out that a lot of people didn't want to talk about it. So I came back home. All my friends, I was like, "Hey, this what might be a simulation," and they were like, "Oh, I don't really want to talk about that." I thought it was really strange as well. So it was like I think in 2019 when I started to realize, okay, what I'm having is a spiritual awakening. And then, of course, you have all these groups set up. Like, I didn't know what spirituality was at all. So I was kind of researching everything, and I started getting into Buddhism for a couple of years. Buddhism is great because it talks about the suffering and want to get rid of it and, escaping this realm. But after a while, I started listening to a lot of monks, and, the whole COVID thing happened, and all these people didn't really seem to be conspiracy theorists, and they're all kind of going along with what the establishment were wanting them to do, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So I thought it was really, really odd, and yeah, I thought maybe I should look for some other kind of belief system because I don't think these people are really, aware of what's going on in the world. And then I got into New Age kind of stuff. There's so many rabbit holes. We talked about it, Devin. Like, it's just crazy. It will keep you entertained for years. But yeah, I got into the New Age, with manifesting stuff and all of that. And after a while, my life just didn't really improve, and I keep getting these same not so fun experiences and stuff. And I thought I was doing everything all right, and yeah, I started just getting in these toxic work environments all the time, and you have this idea in the New Age that like this world is like a mirror, like a representations of your inner self. And after a while, I was like, these people that I'm encountering and stuff like that, they're not really like me. Like,
Yeah.
I just really started to doubt everything, and I got in a kind of you know, depressed kind of state because nothing was changing and just running up any same problems. And then I started getting into Makowski's work, Howdy. Then I started to look into soul trap stuff. And as soon as I started to learn about it, like it kind of hit me, like, oh, of course, these dark forces who run this place, of course, they set up all these groups, deceive us, make us go on the wrong path so that, we're not waking up to the truth. And at the moment I start realizing that, boom, my life changed, like, and not for the better at all, because I start getting all these entity attacks that start showing to me. My health started to decline. I started getting health problems, and that was now a year ago. And things have been crazy ever since. Honestly, it's not been more fun, but I'm kind of relieved that everything I thought about this realm made sense now. Because I was just struggling in this world, and makes a lot of sense that these dark beings are here and screwing with us basically. So yeah, that's basically my story how I got into the soul trap, and yeah, here we are.
Well, and it is the only thing that makes sense, right? None of the other religions, the excuses they make for all of there's way more wrong than there is right in the world. And to me, and I'm sure you both would agree, it's the only thing that makes sense. None of the other religions really explain, like, you just take the Gaza situation, for example. There's no justification for any one group of people to go in and do that kind of thing to another group of people ever. And we've seen it historically, it keeps repeating over and over and over again. And none of the religions ever have a good explanation for that other than it's karma or the devil made us do it, or, so to me, the soul trap is the only thing that makes sense there, you know?
Yeah, yeah, I had the same. Like, all these groups have all their like explanations of what's going on here, but nothing really made sense, honestly. Like the karma thing, I never, I was into Buddhism, but I never really understood karma because there's a lot of bad people do a lot of bad stuff, and they don't seem to get any repercussion, or nothing bad happens to him or something. And I always thought maybe, oh, their next life is going to be bad or something, but still just it didn't make sense because you always get in this karmic loop. Then if you always make karma in this life, you never live a perfect life, right? So yeah, it's just the explanations that didn't make sense. And the soul trap makes a lot of sense, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. All right. So thank you for telling us a little bit more, about yourself. Um, so yeah, let's get into like the topic for today. Dreams and lucid dreaming,
Dreams.
everything. Yeah.
So I started lucid dreaming even before my spiritual awakening. I just found it interesting. I always wanted to be free. And with lucid dreaming, I found a way to be free. So I didn't have any belief systems about dreaming. I just thought it's something not real. Like in a Western society, they basically tell us like, oh, it's just a dream. It's not something real. So at the time, I thought that as well. I started, I did the journaling a lot. I was at the time living in Sydney, and I had to go to my job in the subway, and I was journaling all my dreams. I did the reality checks as well, so I like to use to count my fingers. And often in the dream state, you have 4 fingers, 6 fingers, or your hands just look really odd. But later on, I started to realize also that some dreams you just have 5 fingers, and I will go on that later because I think there are different kinds of dreams. But what I wanted to say is that, yeah, I started getting into lucid dreaming. I didn't know anything that it was real, but I think nowadays dreams are just as real as this reality. It may be even more real. Um, Yeah, and I started to notice a lot of weird things in my dreams. One of the first thing that happened to me that was really odd was that I was in a lucid dream. I became lucid, and I'm just having fun, you know. I don't know. I'm just screwing around, having fun in the dreams. I didn't do it for any other purpose. But suddenly I hear a phone ringing, and I walk to the phone and I pick it up, and there's a message for me. And in the message it says, "You should use your lucid dreams different." And well, I woke up the next day and it really blew my mind. I was like, who or what the hell is sending me a message? Like, I still to this day, I don't know what was trying to make contact with me, but it was the first thing that really happened that I thought was, was a bit strange. Later on, I started to have a lot of reoccurring dreams. And what I think now is that they kind of programming me in the dream state, manipulation as well. So I would have this dream. Last week I got one as well again, that I'm back in school. And this happened so many times in my dreams. I'm back in school. I have to, listen to somebody again. And when I start to become lucid, I'm like, hey, wait a minute. I'm not at school anymore. And I had these dreams before, and I know that I never wanted to be at school anymore. And I just basically think they're trying to, program us in these states. It's in the dream state, there seems to be a lack of logic most of the time if you're not really aware. So it's very easier to manipulate and program us in these states. So that was another thing I started to notice that, yeah, they're probably screwing with us in the dream state or in the astral, whatever you want to call it. I also started having precognitions. Yeah, just having like, if somebody could get a new dog or something, I would dream about it, or somebody would paint their room, and the next day I visit them and they painted their room in that same color. So
Oh, wow.
that kind of stuff. Yeah, nothing useful, like never the lottery ticket or something, That would have been real nice, but they're just useless stuff. And I started, it's a phenomena in the lucid dreaming. It's called fake wake ups. It's basically you wake up in your bed and you think you're awake, but you're actually in another dream. And I started having this a lot as well. And there is something to this, because a lot of the times when I have these fake wake ups, I started having feelings of being intoxicated as well, like almost like I'm being drugged. So I can tell you the story about my first entity encounter. That was not my first, but it was the first one I really realized I was encountering an entity. So I would have a lot of fake wake ups. They would happen like 10 or 15 times in a row. And every time I feel like I was being drugged. And I never had full sleep paralysis, but I always have this feeling that I'm being drugged. So I'm starting to doubt they kind of screw with me, drug me, and I don't know what's happening after that. But this particular dream, I start having 10 to 15 times that I started to have a fake wake up. After that, I woke up in some other room that I was not familiar with. And I saw in the doorway, I saw this reptilian entity standing there. And I stood up as quick as I could. Like, I've never stood up so quick. And this entity started to make very intense eye contact with me. I think there's something with the eye contact as well. They do that a lot to me. So I had a 3 seconds or something eye contact with the entity. Then it started running towards me, and I got real scared. Like I thought what's happening here. When it started running to me, I kind of worked it to the ground. But when it was laying at the ground, it started reaching for my heart, and I could feel something get into my heart. And then I just got sucked out of the dream. I woke up, and I've been having heart problems ever since the waking up from the soul trap.
Oh, wow.
I could feel it, like there was something happening in my inside of my heart. This I don't know if they implanted anything or something like that, but they've been screwing with my heart ever since. So yeah, that was real scary. I couldn't sleep for 3 days after that. I was terrified. Yeah.
Yeah, see, I don't like being asleep between the hours of 2 and 4 in the morning. I find
It's
myself either staying up sometimes and napping later, or there's something to me about, I mean, they call those the witching hours anyway, right?
Mm.
Um, and so I've never been, and incidentally, whenever I'm sure you've heard throughout the podcast, I have MS. I will have better functioning and feel almost not necessarily normal, but at my best when I'm not sleeping during those hours. It's really weird. It's almost like I think you're right. I think they do. I think they're doing to us stuff to us while we're dreaming and in our sleep. I really do.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely think we can get a lot of different entity attachments, attacks, all of that in our sleep. And then like also sleep paralysis. What happens in sleep
Oh yeah.
paralysis? You're like, you're awake, but you can't move. And a lot of people report like seeing an entity looming over them. Mm,
I've
uh,
had that once in my life.
yeah.
One time, it was a long time ago in my 20s, and it is scary.
Yeah. John, I wanted to ask you about like when you looked into the reptilian's eyes, uh what did that like look like? Do you see similar eyes in other dreams with other entities? Like,
so yeah, I've had a lot of encounters with them when they start having their eye contact with me. I haven't only had that one time with the reptilian one, and I can tell you when I looked it in the eye, I can't fully remember it. Of course, I don't have a photographic memory, but it looked kind of yellowish. But the feeling they gave me, that was really disturbing. It was a very cold, evil being. Like I just could sense, like, okay, this fella is not up to something good to me. He's really evil. Like I still, it still disturbs me. Yeah, it's a feeling I cannot tell you. It's so eerie. It's ugh. But I have also seen a lot of entities that look appealing. So I would have these fake wake ups, and there is a cartoonish entity standing in front of me and making this eye contact as well. And I don't feel scared. I feel all right. I feel like yeah, I know this thing. It's really weird. I also had one time there was a human-looking man, and he was like telling me like, "Oh, make eye contact." And I was stupid. Like, there's no logic thinking most of the times in these dream states, for me at least.
mm,
And I just looked him in the eye, and I think what they're trying to do is it goes a little bit in on this philosophical question: if can anything exist without being perceived by consciousness? So I think they
mm,
don't only want us to see them, but they need us to see them. We
mhm,
are basically, you've heard it a lot that we are the creator beings. I think they have to show themselves to us for be able to exist. We kind of project them in some sort of way. This world is also described as an illusion most of the time, and we are almost the creators of this illusion. I think so. I think it's a necessity for them to make that eye contact with me. I'm pretty sure. Otherwise, they would just hide, right? Why they don't? They can create this realm and do all these effed up things to us, and they don't need to show themselves to us, right? They can scare us in other ways. It's not necessary. But I think it is necessary for them to show them. Otherwise, they wouldn't exist. So that's
Mhm.
kind of my theory on that.
yeah, it's a form of like, I think it could be like a form of consent, just like how after we pass in the physical realm, we go and we give consent to the false light. When we give consent to it, it comes in with the love bombing and everything else. Like that acknowledging plays a big role in this matrix.
Probably, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
Do
yeah.
you think this stuff is coming from the astral?
So I'm okay. My thing on the astral is I have some out of body experiences, but I'm not really sure what the astral is actually. It's just for me. It's just I think they're dream states, and some people call them the astral. I'm not very advanced in astral traveling, so yeah, I cannot really tell you what these states are, honestly. I can put a name on it, but yeah, I'm not really sure, honestly. I think these beings could be like non-physical interdimensional beings indeed, and they reside in these worlds, but for me it's still a question as well.
Yeah, I've started I set the intention every night before I go to sleep to keep me out of the astral and keep the astral away from me
Yeah.
because I don't want that like those experiences. And I've noticed my lucid dreaming has gotten better in terms of like I might have a dream and it's going a certain direction and I don't, and it's been a lot of past stuff here recently, like stuff from my past. And I'll be like, yeah, I don't like the way this is going. And I'll start changing stuff in the dream. But before I started setting that intention, I wasn't able to lucid dream. That's been something that I've been able to do after I had my hypnotherapy session with Devin. Uh, so, but I don't know if you guys have tried that, if you set those intentions, because it might help keep them away from messing with you.
Yeah, every night I set an intention, don't screw around with me, but it still happens. So yeah, I don't know how much influence it has, honestly. I think there's always also that possibility they transfer our consciousness into simulations, or
Hmm.
they even project in our mind some simulations. Yeah, I'm not really sure, but I think there's a lot of yeah. I can really tell if we are in the astral or are they just projecting something on us. It's still a question for me as well.
Yeah. Um, yeah, going back to like what the astral is, from my understanding, it's like the fourth dimension. And in the astral, you can create anything instantly. Anything can manifest, which is very similar to like the dream state, you know. When you're in the dream state, if you want to fly, you can fly once you like learn how to control it all. So I think they're pretty much the same. Um, and then what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, and then like the uploading and the copying. Um, yeah, I think um yeah, it can very much like be true with all of that. John, I wanted to ask you, have you heard of blue liquid at all? Being
I have
injected
not,
with blue
no.
liquid. Okay, I was like trying to do some research and I was reading that some people report being injected by a blue liquid by like the people in their dreams. And then, you know, prior to that happening, they could, you know, astral travel or remember like their dreams or past lives, you know, a little bit. But after
Hmm.
they were, like injected with that blue liquid, they it couldn't, it limited their abilities.
Okay,
Oh,
so they're like trying to prevent you from getting out of body or whatever, yeah? I
wow.
think you might get those. Uh, Um, yeah, I can share experience because I try to astral project once in a while. Um, I try it through lucid dreaming nowadays because I find it more easier to do. If I wake up in the night, most of the times I cannot get back to sleep, so I had a little bit of trouble with that. But I have some really strange experience when I trying to get out of body. So one of them is I was in a lucid dream. I started to become lucid, and I was like, okay, now I'm gonna decide, put my intention. I'm gonna get out of body. What happened was I got sucked out of the dream, and I felt myself going or transferring somewhere, and suddenly I'm waking up in a body. I'm feeling a bit rough, like I didn't feel really good, and I feel myself laying somewhere on the ground in the mud. And I look around me, and it seems to be that I'm inside. And this was only a couple moments before I got sucked out again. So for a long time, I didn't think of anything of it. I just thought, oh, it's just a real bit strange. I got into Donald Marshall. I don't know if you have heard of him.
Mm-mm.
He is he talks a lot about the cloning center, the consciousness transfer. So Donald Marshall started explaining that they have these clones. So they transfer our consciousness into clone bodies, and they have like a facility that's called the cloning center. And what they would do is they have like an arena, or it's inside somewhere, because there are different kinds of facilities, and they would actually like let us fight in clone bodies and do all kinds of nefarious stuff. And I
Oh my
was like,
gosh.
that sounds really what I was experiencing. That I was laying there in the mud somewhere inside. So I really start to uh, be suspicious that I might woke up in a clone body. I don't have, I'm not sure about it, but I take it as a possibility. Um, there's not a lot of people talk about the cloning center and stuff like that. He seems to be one of the only few who has a lot of information about it, but it seems to kind of point that way, that the dreams I'm having are kind of pointing toward a consciousness transfer, and the cloning. Because I have different. I have another one when I started to astral project. I wanted to astral project. I woke up in the night and I was like, okay, I'm gonna astral project now. I started having these tingly feelings, and the feeling when you get out of the body. Started having that, and suddenly I'm in a dream state, and I feel like a very, very hard squeeze around my heart and my chest. There was like something holding me with his arms, like really hard. I couldn't see it, but I could feel it. Like I've never felt something that strong before. And I was trying to push it away with my hands, but it was not really something I could touch. Then I started using my intention to break through it. Couldn't get through it. I got sucked out of the dream again. But the next morning I woke up. I could feel the muscles around my heart area, around my chest, were like all worn out and cramped, and so something had
Wow.
been squeezing me in the astral or in the dream state, and it had a impact on my physical body. So that scared the shit out of me as well. Like that was not a pleasant experience at all. Um, I have different dreams as well. These ones are maybe a little bit strange, but I have them a lot where I'm watching screens. So sometimes I'm just as a piece of consciousness. I'm watching a screen. I know it's a screen because there is a distance between me and the screen. I'm literally watching a screen. It could be normal stuff, being in a mall or something, and or just I'm a martial arts fan, so I've seen martial arts fights. I would have a lot of these dreams, and after a while, I'm like, why am I getting these screen dreams? It's so odd. Even as well, I'm getting playing games on the screens as well. So I'm watching and I'm playing the game with my mind. And for a long time, I thought it was so strange, but then I came across a lady who indeed had these experiences as well, and they said they're probably transferring our consciousness, or putting a screen in front of us. They're probably just testing us. They trying to, it goes a little bit to Dark City, where they're doing
Mm.
experiments on us. They're kind of testing us, look how we react, and they're basically just observing us. And end of the day, what I think they're trying to do is trying to re-engineer our consciousness for them for their own use.
Mm.
Oh, that's terrifying.
Yeah, it's not fun. Yeah, yeah. I don't go to sleep very nicely nowadays. Yeah, but yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
Kind of like what they're trying to do with uploading consciousness right into the singularity too.
Yeah.
Here, same kind of thing in a way.
Like that they're trying to upload a consciousness in a new matrix or something.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, it could be as
that's yeah,
well.
that's terrifying. That really is.
It is honestly, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's not fun, but I get kind
See,
of used to it nowadays.
and see, I've got tech issues. I've just disappeared out of my screen completely. And then this is weird. I haven't moved. I did not actually
You're,
physically move my body, and I just keep disappearing off the screen. It's weird.
Kind of
you're
They
glitching,
always do this to Devin and I, either before we start a podcast or during we start having tech issues or weird stuff go on.
and they're probably screwing around, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think they got a lot of influence on this reality. Honestly, I think they can do a lot of stuff. Yeah, because it's basically their playing field, right? So
hmm hmm
the odds are kind of against us over here, but still, we make it happen, right? We here.
Yeah. Yeah. So, so question for you. Uh,
Yeah.
what have you found that's useful in uh, the dream state? Either, with controlling your dreams or like anything helpful that you could share.
So for me, in the dream state, I had these encounters where entities came, and I told them like, "This is my dream. This is my reality. So you cannot be here," and that kind of scared them off. I have a couple of that times that worked. Um, I have used some telekinesis where entities were trying to come, and I could use my telekinesis a little bit on them. I still have to practice a lot because it doesn't work all the time, but that worked as well. Let me think. So something else that was really helpful. No, apart from that, I don't really have too many things that helped against them. I try to wake up as well if it's too scary or like I don't like it. I try to wake myself up. So
Yeah.
yeah, apart from that, not much else.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard standing your ground and just like not being fearful is like probably the best.
Okay, what the thing is in the dream state is that I'm much more emotional, and there seems to be a lack of logic thinking. So what I'm saying, much more emotional. I'm kind of more like a child again. So if I'm getting scared, I get like scared like a child again. It feels like that. So
Yeah.
it's harder for me to control my emotions in these states. I have a lot of times where something mildly scares would happen in my dreams, and I would wake up. I'm like, why was I scared for that? Like I'm being myself again. I'm like, I shouldn't be scared. But in these dream states, there seems to be a different emotional state. So I find it pretty hard to not get scared in the dream.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense though. Okay. And then okay, so what about when you're awake? I know we've talked a little bit about it, but what do you do when you're awake to um like protect yourself or
I practice a lot. I practice a lot of mindfulness meditation kind of things. I do a lot of breathing exercises. I do some qigong. I do yoga, just to all make me, more clear and less reactive to this place. Um, I even had an encounter with a man with what I think was I really reminded me of this entity. So they can come into our physical reality as well and test us, kind of. Yeah, I just trying to stay, cool, calm, and collected. That's the best thing to do. Not to be not to react too much on them because they're trying to get a reaction out of us, honestly. So yeah, it's a practice. Just do whatever works for you, I would say. Yeah, but for me, I like the breathing exercises a lot. It calms me down. The meditation as well helps for me as well. I do chanting as well. I've heard that they don't really like these chanting noises, so I do that as well. Yeah, that's kind of what I do to protect myself.
All right. Angie, do you have any questions or anything?
I'm still thinking about that cloning thing.
Yeah.
It's
I
effed
mean,
up, isn't it?
that's just, just when I think I'm starting to get a handle on, okay, I'm protecting myself, I do this, I do that, then you find out something else that they're doing. And
Uh, uh,
then it makes me wonder, can we even get out of this? Right? Like, do you guys really think that we can, when we die, that we're going to be able to? Because it sounds like there's just trap or trick after trick after trick that they've got,
Yeah.
you
there
know.
seems to be a lot of layers to it, indeed. And when I really got into the cloning stuff, I started to ask myself these same questions as you did. Like, can we even get out of this stuff? Like, I don't know how far this realm goes and how many layers it has. So I think in my opinion, I think it's pretty hard to make it as hard as possible to get out. But I of course, I think it's a possibility because at the end of the day, I don't think we're from here, but we're from somewhere else. And if there's a way in, there's a way out, in my opinion. So I think it's possible, but it's probably pretty hard to do so. Yeah.
Well, the Buddhist monk that you have a video, I forget what the where he dies
Mahasamadhi.
intentionally. Yes. I just want
Yeah.
to do that. I just want to do that and leave. Like I really do. When I saw that, I was like, yeah, but then I'm like, but if I do that and I'm not ready, I'm just going to come back. I'm just going to be recycled.
Yeah.
If
We
my
don't
soul
know.
isn't ready, right?
Yeah, we don't know if he actually left the Matrix, right? So
Exactly.
yeah, but I'm not able to do that. So that guy probably, knew something. Like he was probably pretty advanced. So yeah, I think that was it's not talked about a lot in the Soul Trap community, but I think that is, probably the way to get out is doing it while you're alive. Because if you have to rely on what's happening after death, like yeah, I just don't want to rely on that because we don't know what's going to happen actually. So, we have documents of people who had NDEs and stuff like that, but yeah, I just don't want to rely on that. So I think it's better to do it when we're still alive. We get realize who we truly are, and it's probably the best way to get out of here, honestly. Yeah.
Yeah. Another thing I've read in past life regression books that for the most part, people that, take their lives, it's an act of free will. It's not actually predetermined like before they incarnate. Like it's usually yeah, their own choice. So I think that
Hmm.
could I don't know, but it's
The
such a
choice of the individual
yeah,
is what you're saying.
yeah.
So they make the
I believe
choice.
that
It wasn't
Michael
part of their
Michael
thing.
Newton said. I'm sorry, what
I'll
was
have
that?
to look into that. Oh, I was just saying, to confirm. So it wasn't like their life plan for the individual. The individual just decided I've had enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's well, and I mean, I guess uh Devin and I probably talk more about this. We may do a whole episode or not. I don't know how much I want to share, but I will say that recently, very recently, I almost did die here, like not this past weekend, but the one before.
Damn.
And it, when they told me in the hospital, yeah, you're septic, and you know, I immediately started running through because we talk about everybody, within this community, we're talking about it. But until you're presented, it becomes a very, 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 and it's in your face. Like, okay, what am I going to do? And most of us, some of us, in life, we die very quickly without warning. Some of us have time to prepare. Um, but all of the theories, it got to the point where I was running through all the scenarios. Okay, well, Ola says maybe possibility of not having to do anything at all or descending, or, Tony has his perspective, Tony Sayers, or, Soul
Yeah.
Trap, or my own stuff. And then you get to a point where I just was like, trust, I'm just gonna have to do the best that I can and trust that I'm going to know what to do and just keep that focus on I'm not coming back here. That's all I kept telling myself. If this goes sideways and I'm out, I'm not coming back here. And that's what I kept holding on to. Because we don't know what we're going to be presented with on the other side. And I think for me, that was the only thing that I could hold on to was that. And you talking about that consciousness transfer, I I had that. That's why I got real quiet when you go, Devin, do you have any, ask me if I had any questions. I was really quiet listening to him because that was one of my fears when I
Hmm.
was presented is like, well, okay, what if I do all this and they just take my consciousness and put it somewhere else? And so when he presented that, like, oh, they're already doing that, possibly the cloning, I'm like, holy shit, man, that was my worst fear just like 2 weeks ago. And, there's people talking about that. So it's the stuff. I think when I got into this, I didn't realize when we started this podcast, and I mean, Devin had told me it's a heavy subject. It's heavy. You don't realize how heavy it is, you
Yeah, I'm
know.
sorry for bringing it up, Angie, but
No,
yeah.
no, it's good.
Yeah.
I think it's good that we're talking about this because, and especially I've never heard somebody, I've been looking for videos where somebody was actually in the face of death from this perspective of the soul trap. And so I think it's good that it came up and that we look at it, right? Because and that you did bring it up. People need to know that they're doing that. Then that might be a possibility we might have to face. And what kind of things can we do to stand up to that or keep our consciousness to ourselves without them, you know, uh, moving it around elsewhere. So no apology necessary.
No, no, it's okay. Yeah, right. I mean, we want to get to the truth, right? And no matter how effed up it is, we yeah just want to know what's going on here, right? And who we are and how to get out. So yeah, the Soul Trap already was kind of not very pleasant, but it seems to get more sinister the more I start experiencing stuff and realizing stuff. It gets more sinister. Yeah. So I mean these entities they are just beyond evil. It's so messed up. They're just the definition of mentally ill. Like, so I'm not surprised that they would do all this kind of stuff to us and make it as hard as possible for us. So yeah, and if they need us to be alive, to have this realm, and we give it the kind of the spark to it. Yeah, they're gonna try everything to keep us here, I guess. So yeah, I'm not surprised of all of this, honestly. Yeah.
Was it hard for you to let go of Buddhism when you started coming to, like, was that a hard thing for you to?
No, because I was kind of always open-minded. I was like, because I couldn't prove it myself, everything.
Oh, okay,
I
yeah.
thought like, okay, reincarnation, makes a lot of sense, and there are these children who said they can remember these past lives. So I would think like, oh yeah, that is very likely. But like karma and stuff, I never had any proof of that. So I always kept an open mind. So yeah, once I started getting into this stuff, I just shrugged it, like shoved it away straight away. I'm like, yeah, this sounds way more truthful. So yeah, I didn't have any problem with that, honestly. And because I've lived a lie my whole life, So yeah,
Well, and it was like nice that you weren't indoctrinated with religion messes a lot of it mess. I know I think Devin even struggled as well as I did. We had the whole savior. We were raised with the savior in our background with the whole Jesus Christ thing. And
Yeah.
that gets tricky. But the whole threat of hell, if you don't believe in the savior and you
yeah,
need
it's
a
easy.
savior and there's somebing nice up there with cookies and milk looking out for you kind of idea,
Yeah,
and then having them turn your back on that, but with being brainwashed for year after year, day after day, you know, um, it was hard for you, right, Devin?
Yeah, it was. It was, yeah, breaking free of all of that fear mongering and all of that. Yeah, especially like with my family too. They uh, wanted me to be a certain way. Instead, I was like, oh, going the very opposite way of what they wanted for me. Yeah,
And they try to suck you back into it too.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I still get that with a friend of mine,
yeah. You could,
and I'm sure you get it with your family too. Well, Jackie, you were commenting on that here recently. The family tries to suck you back in.
yeah,
And not because they're trying to be mean. I mean, they're concerned. They think you're going to hell, and I get it, but it still sucks because it's hard enough for all of us. I'm sure it is for you, John, in other ways to, even though you may not be held by religion, but just by the sheer heaviness of this subject and what it means to be here in this world. I'm sure it's heavy for you too, though. I mean, this isn't a pleasant, it's not a good place by any stretch. It's hell.
No, 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 not at all. I mean, I got lucky indeed that I didn't have any religious upbringing or anything like that. But you're still going against the grain by believing this soul trap kind of stuff, and a lot of people find it weird and they just don't get it. But yeah, it's hard to be here. Honestly, it's every day I'm like, there we go again, another day. Yeah, it's I don't want to be here. So yeah, it's a heavy subject, yeah. But yeah, I always think like I've only known this for like a year now, and I would people who deal with this for like 10 years or something, they will get tired of it, right? After a while.
Jackie's been, right, Devin, hasn't she
yeah.
been, and Kevin and Tony too. Yeah, I don't know how they, I can't even imagine what I'm gonna, like 10 years from now on this subject. I don't even know. That's heavy.
I
That's a
probably lost my
heavy.
mind, but yeah,
And this is, how long has this been for you? About a year now?
yeah, it's
Or
been a
longer?
year now. Yeah, the soul trap stuff.
Yeah.
So, and Devin, same for you, right? And
Yeah.
we're looking at me maybe 3 months, maybe
Yeah.
at most.
Yeah. I don't know. It's given me like a more kind of refined view on life and um a little like I don't know. There are things that I want to make sure I get done in this life so I can never come back, and
Yeah.
yeah, I think
It
Jack.
also felt a little bit relieving for me because I always had like doubts about these ideas like, oh, you come here to learn, or you really chose this life yourself and you wanted to be here. I was in the
Mm.
back of my mind like, I don't want to be here. That's BS. But yeah, when I started realizing, okay, so it is actually a bad place, that was kind of relieving as well. But yeah, now I'm like, I just want to get out ASAP.
Well, do you guys ever feel like people think we're insane, a little bit insane? Because like if you there's certain people that I'll try to talk to, like I'll point out to them a prime example. So somebody was commenting on the show Seinfeld, and which just surprised me. They're a conservative Christian, but they were commenting about the show. And he goes, I suppose you don't like the show. And I go, no, I don't watch pedophiles on TV. And he looked at me and goes, what do you mean? And I go, Jerry Seinfeld is a pedophile. He was 38. He dated a girl who was 16 going on 17 years old. It was all in the press. This was back in the day when he had his show. That's a pedophile. I don't particularly, I don't hang out with them when they're in my neighborhood. I'm not judging, like it's not my place to condemn them or whatever, but I don't want to associate with them. So why would I have them on my TV coming through my living room, right? And he looked
Yeah.
at me like like I had two heads. And he was like, well, it's just a show. And I'm thinking, what realm are we in where somebody whose religion teaches them that that is wrong is okay? Because he wouldn't associate with somebody on his road that was engaged in that. But because they're an actor, and if you call it out, then I'm like, what realm is this that what is subverted is normal
Yeah.
and normalized,
Yeah.
and what is right and is looked at, like I'm the weird one because I'm not okay with that. It's just I just feel, or and then if I try to explain when he was like, well, you know, who are you to judge? And I go, I'm not judging. I'm just saying I don't want to associate with that kind of stuff. And I was like, this, and he's like, well, if we, then he goes, well, Jesus is the one to call that out, not you.
Yeah.
What? What? Or like the politicians or the people that are getting away with all kinds of stuff with no, what world does that make sense in? Any of this? It doesn't. It's either hell or we've got a really jacked up deity that's running things here. And how can you make excuses for that? But people do all the time. And then if we call it out, we're the weird ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, they kind of just shrug their shoulders and like, oh yeah, like I think most of those people didn't really have a bad life, you know, like their life was reasonably okay, and you know, there are things going on for them, and they don't really see the evilness of this realm. And if they see something evil coming by, it's like, oh yeah, this doesn't really affect me, so why should I care, right? Like, I think that's the case with most people,
Well, I
or they're
think
just
that's
NPC.
your first episode, which I love. I still, that thumbnail, your thumbnail on your first episode is so perfect. I was like, oh, I wish he hadn't used that because that would have been a great one for one of our episodes. But the stuff that you said about spirituality and the new age, it's the same thing there too. You made a lot of great, you pointed out a lot of great stuff in that video, which I highly recommend everybody who checks our stuff out should go check your stuff out if they haven't, because that was, you covered some of these very things in that as far as the hypocrisies and the shortcomings and the failings of, especially the new age. And I think we've all gone through it. You went through the new age, Devin went through the new age, I went through new age crap because it's kind of a conglomeration of everything, right? That's why it works. They take a little bit of Buddhism, a little bit of Christianity, a little bit of some of the ancient religions and all of it and throw it all together and say, look, we're all love and light. Even encourage people to go to the light, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You kind of have to go through all of it, I guess, to really see what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you have any other questions, Devin? Or
Yeah, I know John and I had discussed over, we had talked about another thing that I wanted to kind of like bring up here a little bit. And they're the sleeper cells. They're the in a dream where you're activated in your dream to go and do like a mission or go and do like something specific. And I wanted to hear about his like experience with that because I know he has experience with that. And then yeah, just kind of talk about that a little bit.
wow.
Yeah, so I have flashes of, particular dreams where as an example, I felt like I was in a different body, and I looked down, I was in a snowy area, I had military boots on, all of that, and I was running through the snow, like, it really felt like a military kind of sort of mission, and I went into a building, guy in the building was like an abandoned office or something, and I went down in the elevator, and then I got kind of sucked out of the dream. That really seems to be like a mission and like something military. But I also had dreams where in my mind, I knew I was doing some kind of mission, and I had to do like a parkour or something and run over obstacles and all of that. And I knew I was doing this mission, and that was a simulation as well. And then if I did this and that, then I finished my mission. Then I completed it. I think oh yeah, I had some dreams as well where I have to go into buildings and take people out. Like seems really military as well. Some of these dreams they feel like really dreamy, but some of them feel really real as well, like this reality. So yeah, there is something going on with these dream states where we have to do like certain missions and military stuff. And people talk about alters as well, that we're in different bodies, like our consciousness is like fractured, and that we're in different bodies doing different kind of stuff. So yeah, they probably use us for their full extent that can use us. And yeah, we're probably doing a lot of stuff we're not aware of. And a lot of that happens when our consciousness is transferred. So yeah, these things happen as well.
So with that also, as far as that, how you said using us in different ways, do you think that's also where we would get the possibility of parallel universes existing and that fractured consciousness kind of thing going on?
Yeah, I think yeah, multiverse and all of that. There are different simulations they use our consciousness for. I have had like also that I'm in a different body. I'm in a dream, but it doesn't feel dreamy. I count my fingers. I got 5 fingers. It feels like normal. And I look in the mirror and I see myself, and I got different facial structures. I got hair, which I don't have right now, as you can see. Um, yeah, just a completely different person, and I'm just walking around like, am I in some alternate universe or anything like that? So yeah, these things happen as well. It's yeah, it's really crazy.
Do either one of you have theories on why some people have experiences like you or are able to astral project or lucid dream and why other people aren't able to? You guys have theories on that, on why that is?
Um, you,
Like, do you
Devin?
think it's, I
Uh,
mean, do you think it's the system shutting people down or just gifts, different gifts or?
I definitely think some people are more like attuned to the dream state, and some people are more attuned to like the physical worlds. But I think everyone has the opportunity to lucid dream. There just might be, they have to practice, or there might be certain like attachments they have to remove, or just different things they might have to do for themselves, like to each person individually. Um, that being said, I really need to practice lucid dreaming for myself. But yeah, I think that. What do you think?
Yeah, I kind of agree with you with that some people are more into the dream states and other people are more into this kind of reality. I've heard that before as well. That makes a lot of sense. I think I'm more of a dreamer, operating in different realities. Yeah, I'm not sure. Probably some people are just better at it, and if you go into Donald Marshall, his story, he says that he is allowed to remember all these things because they liked him or something, or he was useful for them. So, I think they can do that as well, that they kind of allow some people to remember some stuff. But yeah, I'm not really sure on that one. And I think some people just waking up, like they start to get their memories back, and their true self is coming through, and they started to, realize this stuff.
Yeah. How frustrating is it that just like before we incarnate here, we get memory wiped. And then literally every single morning when we wake up from like dreaming, we get memory wiped over and over and over again.
I know it's
So frustrating.
That's probably for a reason, right? Like, why do they don't want us to remember our dreams?
Yeah.
I think because a lot of programming going on, a lot of stuff
hmm
they don't want us to know. Yeah, it's definitely for a reason we cannot remember our dreams very well.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Yeah, there's so much stuff going on in the dream state. It's wild.
It
Um,
is, it is.
yeah. Yeah.
I hate the ones where the dreams where you nearly die. Like I've had them, like there was one that I was in a plane or falling out of a building. And I wonder why that is. I mean, I guess if somebody did dream that they died in the dream, we wouldn't, and you die in it, you wouldn't know. But they say that if you actually see yourself dying in the dream, supposedly there's the rumor that you actually die in it. But I've always woken up before the moment of death in those. But those are always creepy because it really does feel like your life is ending. And
Yeah.
I've even had experiences where my life flashed before me, like in the dream. Like, that thing that they talk about that happened in the
Yeah,
dream too. Have you guys ever had near death dreams in your dreams like that? Where you almost died
not
in a
really
dream?
like that. No, no, no. I've been getting seriously hurt in the dreams, but yeah, you can say that I probably would have died in those dreams. But yeah, I can't really recall one right now, honestly. No.
Yeah. I can't think of a time either. I remember like falling from buildings and then waking up right before you like wake up, or right before you fall, and waking up before you fall. Wait, yeah, that. But then
Yeah.
uh, but also like y'all know silver cords, right? They tether the astral body to the physical body, and when we're
Oh
traveling
yeah.
in the dream state, we have our like silver cord coming from our umbilical cord. But people say that if you cut that, you could lose, like, die in the physical or completely lose your soul in the astral. But I don't think that's wholly true. And I know that silver cord was way more of a popular belief in the like 1800s versus now. Um, and a lot of people don't even report of like seeing their silver cord now, but
Oh, no more. I thought that was a thing still in the New Age, but
I,
I haven't kept up on it to
yeah,
know. But I remember hearing that, yeah, like maybe a decade ago, people talking about that.
yeah, um, yeah. Have you
I
ever?
just wish the whole alien demiurge, like, I just wish we could just destroy it. I really do. Wish we could, like, the few of us that are aware of this, I wish we could just actually start like attacking it and bringing the whole thing. I'm so sick of it. Like, I'm so sick of it already. I'm so
Yeah.
over it.
Do you think like we can bring this whole realm down?
I mean, if we're as powerful as I know we are, but I mean, we just have to stand. I mean, like right now, I send attacks to I still doing that. I said I was going to stop, but um, I send attacks to the planets, to this whole zodiac structure thing, like all the time.
Yeah.
And the more I do it, I mean, I just almost died recently, right? So they're hitting me back. They're making the MS worse. And my
Yeah.
attitude about it is bring it, bring it.
Yeah, I like that.
If you
Yeah.
want to walk through my door, if you want to try to possess me, you've already tried that. They tried it. I took mushrooms back in 2024, the beginning of 2024. I was
Mhm.
possessed for a period while I was on those things. It almost broke my mind. They didn't break me. They tried. They didn't break me. And so I think if we had that, not in a toxic way, like, I just think we have to have the mindset of like we're indestructible. Yeah, this physical body isn't, it can die. I get that. But we need to, I think for me, where they get us is, I noticed when I was on the mushrooms, if you have, wherever your weak points are, your fears are, the mushroom that they showed me, I faced my fears on that.
Mhm.
Everything in my life I was ever afraid of, I experienced and had to deal with. And then I realized everything I was afraid of I made it out bigger to be what it really was. Because the worst that can happen to you in this realm is death, right? And if that's a possibility, I always looked at it as a final, like, oh my God, it's scary because we don't know whatever. And I'm like, no, start looking at death as a possibility of getting out instead of all of the horrors it could be. And so my thought process behind that is we all just started supporting one another, as this community is great about, by the way. I think this is one of the most, regardless of the individual and where each individual's out in terms of like healthy people who actually care about other people. This is probably one of the most healthy groups of people so far that I've seen in terms of commenting on people's content, supporting each other, being there for each other. This is like a great community of people. And I think by virtue of that and the level of where everybody's soul level is and that come to be awakened, we could literally, I think, take this down. I really do. I think we could stand in the face
Yeah.
of look what you face, and you go to sleep every night and you're still, and Devin's had her stuff, Jackie's had her stuff, Tony's had his stuff. They try to hit us in unique ways. And you know what? You started a podcast, dude, like a month and a half ago or so. So yeah, they're trying to do shit to you, but you're putting that middle finger up on your thumbnail, being like, yeah, I'm not going
Right.
to take it, man. I'm going to start doing a podcast and talking about this stuff to wake other people up. So yeah, I think those are the kind of attitudes that take it down.
Definitely, definitely. Yeah, I just hate these beings so much. So I just want to get them, you know. But maybe that's a trap as well. But I came across a guy. He's from Mike Dark Explorations. It's called Mike, and he had this idea from if this realm is like taking our energy and we are the batteries, why don't we just draw our energy back from it and like let this
Exactly.
world crumble? So he had these techniques, just visualizing like that you're drawing back the energy, and I was doing that. And one time I was doing it in a dream state. I have something with the moon. If I see the moon, I draw my energy back from it. I just hate the moon. I associate it with the white light.
Hmm.
But I started doing that, and I felt this immense energy going through me, and like really like almost like a blissful and I felt so powerful. I've never felt so powerful before. As I was doing that, like this happened for a couple of seconds where I felt so good. I got sucked out of the dream, and there was laying in my bed like a fake wake up, and there was this entity like growling to me and making all nasty noises because they didn't. I don't think they did really liked what I was doing. So that was one experience there. I was like, oh, I'm probably up to something now, yeah. So that could be useful as well, just drawing your energy back from the realm.
Mm.
Nobody's, yeah. What is the name of, is it a channel?
Yeah, he's called My Dark Explorations, and his
Okay.
name is Mike Martin, if I'm correct.
Okay. I'll have to, yeah, that might be, without having to attack anything, that might be the simplest way to do it. Don't give them anything and pull
It makes a
back
lot of
what you
sense,
already
right?
have. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. What do you think, Devin?
Yeah, I think it's yeah, definitely.
Maybe
Um,
we'll have to reach out
thinking,
to that guy and see if he'll be on too.
yeah,
Talk about that.
yeah. I was thinking, how strange is it? Like, I hear about people, waking up in their dreams, and it seems like immediately when we're doing something that they don't like, we're ushered away, and forced awake, or entities are like a flick of a switch. They're telling us that they don't like us doing that. Like, is almost every being we see in the astral realm some entity disguised as, our family, our friends,
Mhm.
monitoring us, watching us. I don't know. Just,
I think so.
yeah, could be, could be. I got a weird experience.
yeah.
There was well, I told you about it. That some entity it came up in a human form, and I was interacting with him. And after a while, I said to him, "You're an entity, aren't you?" And he said, "Yes, yes." And he was kind of blowing smoke up my ass, like, "Oh yeah, you're pretty smart, yeah, like figuring us out and stuff like that." And he was, trying to play cool with me. And I was like, I don't like you, but and then he started to offering me. He said, like, you can join us if you want. We're not so different from you, and we're just from another place. And I was like, well, I'm not gonna join you guys. Like, I told him, like, I'm consciousness. I don't have to join you. I don't need you. And then he started like turning into a demon, and he started to
Hmm.
show me that they control this whole realm, and everywhere I would go, they would, get me and follow me and start threatening me, and yeah, it was kind of scary, but it offered me something. I was like, that's real strange. Like, I still don't know what to think of it, honestly, but yeah, that was an odd experience as well.
Ooh, creepy. The
Yeah.
whole joining them thing. That's like, that's what I think a lot of people here who have all the money, the wealth, the fame.
Like
I
selling
think
your
that's,
soul, yeah.
yeah, I think they joined something before they came here, even,
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
maybe even after the fact, like, um, that's, that's crazy.
Yeah.
In the
yeah, it
dream,
was
asking you to join them. That's wild.
I wonder what would have happened if you didn't,
I
uh,
know.
like say all those wonderful things
like
about consciousness.
they wanted me to take something for them to join them.
Yeah.
And I looked at it and I was like, nah, I don't need you guys. So I'm not going to take that. And then he started attacking me, threatening me. And
Well,
Yeah, it was
see,
really strange.
I think that like you guys have heard the what is it like the night hag, right? Like the night witch or the night hag that supposedly will sit on like males' chests and give them sexual dreams and then feeds off those dreams or whatever. And
Yeah.
then same thing with
Succubus.
like the yeah, so it could be
Yes.
the incubus succubus thing. I think that when you have dreams about like with people in a sexual sense, I think that they're feeding off your energy.
Oh, 1,000%. Yeah.
I've even
Yeah.
so like I've now that I'm aware of this, like I've stopped them from even occurring through lucid dreaming. I'm like, yeah, no, get out of here. I know what you are. And so I do think those are entities in the dreams. It's not people. It's not people that, um, I think they use all kinds of things. Even I think they'll use your grief. Like if you've lost a loved one and you're having, a lot of people say they'll have dreams about their loved one after they die. I, I don't know. Is it your loved one that you're actually visiting? I don't think it is because they're already recycled, you know?
Yeah,
Uh,
that's how nasty they are. Yeah,
yeah.
they do that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's just evil. Yeah,
And they can loosh off like any energy, right? Like fear and the trauma, those are like, those really feed them. But like our happiness, like the sadness, we can feel in the dream state as well, you know? We can feed off that.
Well,
yeah,
I
I've heard
think,
that as well.
Mhm.
yeah, I've heard that, like shock, like, like from like terror or like trauma, like, oh my God, how could that happen? Kind of shock and surprise, even if it's a good surprise, that is the same frequency effect on the body. And it's also the same physiological effect on the body.
Mhm.
So obviously they can even eat off of probably the good stuff too.
Yeah.
It's just so disturbing.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is. So they're just sitting there, like I always feel like there's stuff creeping around constantly looking, um, and so if I see stuff like like if something comes through news-wise where somebody's like, hey, have you heard of something? I just try to stay level keel because I'm like, I don't want to be the afternoon snack for anything, right? Like, you start realizing like, I don't want to empower anything except myself and the people that I care about. But, other than that, like, uh, I mean, and I guess that's the one good thing about me coming to this knowledge is I get to meet people like yourself, John, Devin, Jackie, Tony. I mean, um, I don't know. It's almost like I feel like once you meet people in this, we bond together very quickly because it is such
Yeah,
a depressing subject and we can't talk about this stuff with just anybody. And yeah.
Yeah.
So like with you guys like having been um I tried manifesting stuff a little bit with the new age stuff, but I wasn't in it that long. Did you guys have any luck with that yourselves when you guys were part of the new age? Or did you manifest money or any of the other
um,
stuff it promises?
I've tried it as well. Yeah, yeah, I've had some luck, some minor luck with it, but end of the day, it didn't turn out like to be a good thing. So yeah, I don't really say that manifesting is like you can. It's probably something to it, but I don't think we can manifesting anything in our benefit. Honestly, there will always be something to it, and always ends up being creating some loose. So yeah, I'm not really a
Yeah.
fan of it, honestly.
Yeah.
What about you, Devin?
I never uh I have never manifested anything like big and large, but I do find success setting intentions and somewhat like manifesting, but it's um, it's like more clients for work or set an intention to like make this much money at my like farmers markets that I do. But as far as like manifesting, my dream house and everything like that, I never had any luck with it. Um, but yeah, I think it's true to a certain extent, but There's certain limitations to it.
Do you
Yeah.
think the people peddling those ideas have, because they do, the ones that really push it, that are part of the new age, they do have a lot of money. And so do you guys suppose that that's stuff like arrangements or deals or something that they had to come in this life when they fooled a bunch of people that they were going to have a good life kind of thing? You guys think that that's like they've got some sort of inside track on that? And it's because if you think about, they're not really messing, so to speak, manifesting. They're manipulating people to spend their money to buy what they're selling. So I don't know why people don't pick up on it. It's like, yeah, they're wealthy because you're paying them to be, and they've got other people like yourself giving them money. So it's almost like they kind of like celebrity and everything else, right? They're just a celebrity in a different sense.
Yeah, they're probably part of it as well. Yeah, they are distracting us with
And
making us believe that we can manifest anything we want. We can be too happy over here, of course, so we cannot manifest everything we want. But we might can manifest some small stuff. But yeah, they make a lot of money. And if you're not successful, they will blame it on you that you didn't
yeah,
manifest well enough or something. So
or your
yeah, they always
frequency and
point the finger to
vibration are too
themselves.
low, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. Like they got their excuses already ready. So yeah, I went into it like I was 18 years old when I started seeing The Secret. So I tried it for a long time and like didn't really happen as I wanted to. So yeah.
Devin, isn't that what Abraham Hicks is out of, like from that secret stuff, or didn't the secret come out of that Abraham Hicks stuff? I thought.
No, I can't remember. I can't remember. Um, I don't know.
I watched a few of those videos, but that was after I was done with the RJ Spina stuff, and I was like, this stuff is crap. This doesn't work. I'm sicker. How do I get sicker? I've set the intention to heal, raised, I was all love and light for like a year, and I'm like, this is bullshit. I'm
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
worse.
Yeah.
Like, no, I'm done with it. So,
I don't know.
yeah,
I think our pre-birth contract outweighs like um it can uh it has a big impact on, us and our current reality and as we move forward, those fated events, things still like happen. Um
shit. I need to void my contract quick because it's like, especially the last 5 years of it, man. And I don't know what I signed up for, but I had a bum attorney represent me in terms of setting up the contract for these discuss. I mean, I'm joking, of course. This sucks. So I mean, and I know there's people out there that have it worse, for sure. But uh, I just don't. It's just such a sick. Uh, it's just a sick reality. It just really is. It's
yeah.
disturbing.
Yeah.
But that's all I've got. I don't know if you had any more questions for John or not.
I'm good. I'm good. John, do you have any thing you want to close on or say?
No, I'm pretty good as well. I think we covered everything I wanted to talk about. So no, it was nice, definitely, and yeah, great for having me on. Thank you.
Yeah. And we
No,
appreciate you so much for coming on.
yeah, we definitely need to have you back on to talk about your last video that you did on the whole transgender. We could even get into the, again, LGBTQ, however many letters. I don't even know what they are now. I
Yeah,
just
the
know
whole alphabet. Yeah.
yeah, the whole, it's all the way down to Z probably by now, but that was a great video, and we should encourage people. His channel's called Soultrapstar, all together, and all of you guys should go check it out. I had watched almost half of his videos before we knew we were recording with him, and then I've watched all of them. I went ahead and rewatched the other ones I'd seen. I highly recommend. He's got some great information on those videos, and so please like subscribe to his channel and check him out because again, um, we won't. Again, we want everybody to have a free agency, but we won't promote channels like that unless we really stand behind it. And like I said, this is somebody who's trying to get to the truth and help other people get there. So I highly encourage everybody to go check it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
thank you, Angie. I appreciate that.
You got it, buddy.
all right. Well, thank you again, John, for joining us, and we'll have you back soon. And yeah, bye, y'all, I think, right?
Yep, we will see
Yeah.
everybody next time. Have a good one.
All right.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you.